Rapids' new B1039.
Morning sun lights a day, Pat and Brian on the way. Stories of a small town life. Sports and joy cut like a knife. Hot stove league and full chat. High school dreams and college stats. Wednesday morning tales unfold, memories and news retold. Tune in B1039. Curries voice and life's sweet line. Sheriff Miller by his side. Lively bluegrass, hearts alive.
All right, here. Good morning, America. Hey, this is Pat Curry. Brian Miller's not here with us today. He's out there protecting America, especially in Mecosta County. I want to thank our sponsors real quick. Big Rapids Tire. Andy, you're doing a great job. Zot's Bar. Hey, Roxanne, there's nobody better. Daggett Gilbert Funeral if you're in need. MMLS, that's Matt at M&M Lawn Care. And then not the last, should have been the first, M&M Collision Center right on Maple Street. God bless you all for supporting us here at Curry's Sports League. I got a couple guests with me this morning, but first I got Scott Schenkel, and I promised him I'd keep my mouth shut. Scott, recap last Friday nights at the Coyotes Coliseum there in Reed City, and what you got coming up this week, and any outstanding players you'd like to talk about.
Well, last week we played Tri-County, and we ended up getting the victory 58-33. Offensive line, shout out to those guys up front, Austin, Tyler, Logan, Chris and Jake, and then Peyton. We ended up having about 620 yards rushing, so it was a pretty good job by those guys turning around from the week before and getting people moving. And of course our three-headed monster all in the backfield there had 100 yards rushing. Andrew had like 270, I think, on the ground. Jack had over 150, and Kaysen had over 100. So offense got rolling last week like we wanted it to. Defensively, a few things to clean up, but for the most part, still real solid. We just had a couple miscommunications in the back end, and that's why I gave up a few extra points than what we wanted to. But Tri-County's a good team, and we came out and played well, so I'm happy for the boys. This week we head down to Newaygo. So.
And what do you expect there?
They're going to be, they're under some new leadership right now, so they're going to come out, do a little bit of spread, a little bit of tee, and, they're going to be physical like they always are. They're going to play tough defense, so they're going to be a solid team.
Yeah.
We just have to show up and play.
Now, what's their record, do you know?
I think they're 0-6 right now, I believe. So
it's kind of hard to get up for a team like that, though, isn't it, Scott? How do you motivate your players?
Yeah, I mean, we constantly, we work against what our opponent's going to be like, but we constantly preach to our kids about how we need to get better as a team every week, every day, and just put forth the effort to. Do our job and make sure we're getting better.
Yeah, I think everybody actually thought you guys would have a closer game with Tri-County than you actually did, but I think playing Big Rapids the week before kind of woke you guys up a little bit and got the lion out of your system, eh?
Yeah, every once in a while you need to get punched in the mouth occasionally, and kind of remember that there's teams out there that if you don't do the little things and the details right against good teams, that's what hurts you in the long run.
So you got Newaygo this Friday night, and then after that, how many more games, and then you go into the postseason, eh?
We had two more after this week. So we got Hopkins and Standish Sterling coming to us week 8 and week 9, and then we're into the playoffs, as long as everything keeps going the same way it is. So.
All right. Well, I guess that's it. I told you I'd keep it short if that's all you got to say. Good luck against Newaygo, and we'll talk to you next Tuesday. How's that?
Tuesday or Wednesday?
I'm sorry, Wednesday. You know what? Wow, I was supposed to be gone today, but tomorrow's the horse show or horse sale is tomorrow, not today. But anyway,
Oh,
unlucky
those
you.
horses. I tell you what.
Oh,
I got
yeah.
a few of them. I tell you what, they keep you occupied.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it keeps me young. I got to have something to keep that mind going. I'm starting to lose it.
I hear
All right,
I
well,
hear
God
you.
bless you, Scott.
Well,
Good luck against Nuevo. Thanks a lot for talking to us this morning. I
I
promise.
appreciate it, Pat. Thanks so much. And sorry to be short today. Just busy day.
No, I understand. I appreciate you guys taking the time out. God bless.
Thank you.
Good
Bye.
luck, Coyotes. All right.
Thank you.
All right, now I got Jonathan Hart and Mr. Pritchard over there from the Everett Wildcats. You know, Jen, I feel kind of bad because we should be calling all the coaches, you know, not just the Reed
You
City
can make
Coyotes.
that a weekly thing. Call all of them.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we should. You know, Chippewa Hills is a very honorable school over there and great coaching over there, and they're struggling right now. But I tell you, I went to the little guys' games this last Saturday, and Chippewa Hills is going to rebound. They're going to rebound. They got a great young program going on over there right now. But we're going to get to Everett because this young man's got to get going. Jonathan, I'm going to let you go ahead and do the interview. I talk too much. Morning, Jonathan.
So first things first, appreciate you coming on the air, coming and talking to us. A little bit of a tough week against Manton.
Yeah, certainly.
A game that, you know, coming into it, I certainly thought was going to be a little closer. Hoped it was
Yeah.
going to be a different outcome. Final score was 14-44?
18 to 44.
18-44.
Yep.
So, for those at home who don't know, Manton runs the wing tee,
Yes,
which,
they do.
when we say ran, it's completely running. It is a completely running formation. Manton, country boys, you got a bigger offensive line. Not a lot of those skill positions, so you have a quarterback who's essentially a running back. You have your fullback and 2 running backs in the backfield as well. So you have 4 potential running backs. What happened on the defensive side that you guys weren't able to catch on to early on?
Well, I think some of it was, misalignment, and I think some of it was misassignment. We did an okay job at times, but the wing tee does what it's supposed to. You're just trying to get 1 or 2 guys, like I said, to be misaligned or miss an assignment, and that's all it takes. And their goal in the wing tee is maybe only 3-4 yards of carry. Obviously, they got more than that Friday night, but. And our tackling wasn't great Friday. It really hasn't been these past couple weeks. So, and once it gets rolling, it's tough. Like you said, they made a point to run the ball. They didn't throw it one time Friday night. And I guess we didn't really make them have to throw the ball. But, yeah, definitely a few miscues on the defensive end for sure.
So the miscues also continued on the offensive side. This was not the ever offense we've seen all season. It's been a tough couple weeks offensively and defensively, but this has definitely been the lower part of the season when it comes to the offense. I mean, 3 or 4 turnovers. I think Manton did an excellent job of covering Willie at all times. I mean, I think he only ended with maybe 2 or 3, 4 catches.
Yeah.
Not the production we've seen. Talk to us a little bit about that. I mean, we had, I know, 2 crucial fumbles in the red zone, which definitely hurt. What happened there?
Yeah, like you said, they covered Willie pretty well. They decided to put 2 guys on him for the majority of the game, similar to what Roscommon did a couple weeks ago, which wasn't too surprising with the weeks that he's had before this. They played a defense that we knew that they would run, some 5-2, a lot of 4-3, 4-down linemen to be able to put another guy out on Willie. But like you said, the turnovers killed us. We knew we had to get a lead, and we went into that first drive and we stalled out inside the 20 with a penalty. We put the ball on the ground 6 times and lost 3 of them. And that's tough for any team to win a game. When you do that, we threw a pick in the red zone to add on to that. Like you said, the turnovers killed us. In the first 15 games that I've called plays, we've lost 1 fumble, and on Friday night we lost 3 of them. That was tough to rebound from for sure.
Good news is last week is last week.
Yes.
This week is this week. It's a fresh week. Fresh mind for the players, and I know that this has got to be an exciting game, not only for the players, but your coaching staff. Beale City, number 1, must win. What's the conversations that are happening at practice right now? How are you trying to get into the mind of the players that, we've had an off season. let's rebound now. It's not too late. Let's get this win. Let's show them that we are the Everett Wildcats that they know.
Yeah, like we just talked about in the last segment, it's not too difficult to get up for a team that's the number one team in the state. Like you said, they're 6-0. They've given up 2 touchdowns defensively. It's probably one of the best defenses we're going to see, in the last few years for sure. A lot of game planning goes into it, but it's a lot of discipline, and it's tough. To get your mind right all the time, knowing that I've got to do the right thing. The misalignment things that we've had the past couple weeks just can't happen on Friday night. But yeah, it's definitely going to be a challenge for us. But hopefully the kids get up for it, and hopefully it's a big game.
Yeah, and just a reminder to the folks at home, we have such a stacked offense and defense. Aiden Anderson is one of the highest passing yard quarterbacks in the state. I think he still sits at number 1 even after last week. Freshman Willie Ray has been completely explosive. We were talking about him before the show. 13 total touchdowns, over 900 yards total, eclipsed as a freshman. I mean, he's been great offensively and defensively. Cam is back in the mix, so we have 2 running backs to go back and forth. And on the defensive side, we have Cade Morgan, who has 3 interceptions. I think Magnuson also has 3 interceptions.
Yep.
So we're building up. I don't think you guys had a turnover for those first 3 weeks, and then you just everyone's picking off the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Everyone's recovering fumbles. It's been nice to see. So this team is a solid team. I think, like you said, it's just some of those miscues and misalignments.
For sure.
But I really hope the best, and I can't wait for this Friday. It's going to be, in my eyes, it's, for me, one of the games of the week, just because I know your guys' past. I know how the Wildcats have played this season. Obviously, I see it a little differently than the fans calling the games. So I'm really excited about that, and I wish the best of luck for you this week and the last few weeks of the season.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Of course.
All right, you're listening to Curries Hot Stove League. We've got Jonathan Hart, who's our play-by-play guy, in here with Pat. Pat is on a phone call, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with Curries Hot Stove League on B1039.
Hi, this is Pat Curry. We're right here with Brian Miller at 1039. We talk about what's happening with sports in Big Rapids. Well, we got a new sponsor. None other than the Great Body Shop right on Maple Street, east of the bridge in Big Rapids, Michigan. It's called M&M Collision Center. They're celebrating 30 years of trusted, top-quality auto body repair and remains the name you can trust. Whether you have a major collision repair or a minor fender bender, our award-winning team has you covered, with free loaners and vehicle detailing with every repair. They work with all insurance companies and treat every vehicle like it's one of their own. From auto body repairs to supporting local community organizations, giving back to the community is part of who they are. Come and see Matt and Devin and Trish and Justin. Just a great group of people there. Come and see why Big Rapids trust M&M Collision Center of Big Rapids, where quality and community come together.
This is Alec Gary of Daggett Gilbert Funeral Homes in Big Rapids and Barrington. I believe what sets Daggett Gilbert Funeral Homes apart from everyone else is our commitment to service excellence. When a family calls, we are there before, during, and after the funeral experience. I want you to be able to trust calling us. We're here to guidance and counsel each and every single family to each and every single need. And we just feel like the commitment to families, especially ones that put their care and trust in us, we are going to go above and beyond to do anything we can to help a family during their time of loss. This is Alec Gary, a legacy of service, a promise of care, with Daggett Gilbert Funeral Homes, located in Big Rapids and in Barrington.
Come say cheers in Zott's Bar and Grill, downtown Big Rapids. Great food, great prices, and great people. So come on down where everybody knows your name. Zott's Bar and Grill, the People's Choice Best Soup winner. The burgers are where it's at. Originally opened in 1933 with seasonal beers on tap, located at 732 North State Street in Big Rapids. Zott's Bar and Grill is a proud sponsor of the Signature Player of the Week for the Hot Stove Sports League every Wednesday morning at 9 a.m.
M&M Lawn Care and Snow Plowing has been in business for over 30 years, gaining the trust of Big Rapids and the surrounding communities. M&M Lawn Care can handle all all your lawn care needs, as well as tree jobs and including removal. Call for a free quote. 796-4956. They're fully insured. Call M&M Lawn Care and Snow Plowing, proud local sponsor of Curries Hot Stove League.
When was the last time you checked your tires? At Big Rapids Tire, they know how important it is to keep your ride smooth, safe, and reliable. Whether you're cruising down the highway or navigating tough weather, a fresh set of tires ensures you're ready for anything. Their expert team will help you find the perfect tires for your car and get you back on the road with confidence. Brakes, alignments, struts, and shocks, they do those as well. Don't wait for a blowout, or worse, visit Big Rapids Tire for unbeatable prices, quality, and peace of mind. Big Rapids Tire, Northland Drive, just north of town.
Well, what else is there in life besides sports right now in Mecosta County? Nothing. We got Everett's Wildcats playing Beale City. Beale City is one of the prominent football programs we've had in the last, I don't know how many years. They just keep on rebuilding. You know what it takes to rebuild? It takes great coaches like Scott Schenkel up there, what he's doing up in Reed City there. They got some really good young teams coming up. Mike Seltzer's got some great young teams coming up. You know, these guys are inspiration to these young kids for one thing, because the young kids look at Scott and Mike and the likes of the Everett, I'm sure. But it takes a guy like that, but it takes more than just them. They have a great staff. Everett Wildcats is kind of showing that there with Mr. Pritchard here this morning with us. You know, he's a pretty proud guy. I guess you went to Everett, eh? You
yes, I
talked
did.
about all that, did you? I had an interruption in the program here this morning, which isn't unusual. My good friend Dan Hicks, he tried to come and see me yesterday. He was a Ferris football player back in the days, and he lives in Florida now. Him and Connie are driving down there right now. So he kind of interrupted me there a little bit, but it's worth getting interrupted. Dan and I have been good friends since kindergarten, so I wish him safe travels down there. Now that I'm talking about safe things, keep Carrie Mathewson in your prayers. She has breast cancer. She's a great teacher at St. Mary's, been there many, many years. I know this has nothing to do with sports, but it has to about reality. And she's just a great person. She was in the station this morning with her husband, and she's doing really well. And the guys at the table there at the mayor's table this morning, half of us have, not myself, but not yet anyway, battled cancer. So they were inspirational to her. Kim Wells, 20-year survivor now. Dan Spadowski, I think he's into his 7th year. So, you know, cancer, like Dan said, there's a lot of new medicines and stuff out there. But anyway, and then keep Donnie Roebuck. He's a very good friend of ours. He stopped in every morning until his recent heart problem, and he went under surgery down in Grand Rapids. And he's not out of the woods yet down there, but with your prayers and thoughts, keep Donnie alive. We need him back here in Mecosta County. Good Rodney resident. All right, so questions for Everett. In my life, it's always been Reed City, Big Rapids, so I really haven't followed Everett. Traditionally, my question is, have they had a pretty decent football team in the last few years?
Yeah, we've made the playoffs the last 5 years. Starting to build a tradition here. You know, this year being a down year, right now we're 2-4. But yeah, kind of a change in the offense a few years ago, and that kind of re-jolted the program, and we've had a pretty good run in the last few years. Yeah, well, how about your younger program? You got a lot of young kids coming up. I don't think Big Rapids plays in the youth against Everett, do we? No, we don't. We play a few teams up north. We play in the Cadillac Pop Warner League and then a middle school league. But we've had pretty good success with our young kids. Got a lot of participation. Pretty few good groups as far as numbers go, so our program's pretty stable.
So you go down there and watch them kids? Yeah. We'll
go on Saturdays and watch the Pop Warner kids, or we'll go to the middle school games on Wednesdays.
How about size-wise?
We've got some size, definitely not the size that we see with some of the other teams in the conference as far as like a team like McBain, but we've got competitive size.
You guys play pretty competitive teams, though, in that bracket, don't you? They're pretty tough. Like you say, Beale City, what are you getting, 6?
We're Division 8 along with Beale City. Most of the teams in our league are in 7, and then Lake City's the one team that is Division 6.
Yeah. So you guys play up teams, don't you?
Yeah, we certainly do.
How many guys are on your football team this year?
Right now, it depends on the week with injuries. We sit around 18 guys on the varsity. We'll fifth quarter a couple kids off the JV team, but it's pretty thin. It's pretty thin.
Yeah. So they play both sides.
For sure.
You guys do a lot of running to keep in shape.
We do as much conditioning as we can. We try to pack in as much as we can in the practice plan. But it's a lot on the kids playing both ways, having to understand, assignment defensively, but then, trying to figure out new ideas in our offense that we're going to run for that week.
Do they ever get down? How do you keep them up? Like you say, you're going to play Beale City, and it's going to be a tough game. A game like that, unlike basketball, where I never forget Brennan Walsh. He was pretty handy at this. He'd play a up-class team that obviously was going to kick Reed City's butt. And so what he did to combat that, he slowed the game down. Football, you can't do that, can you?
Well, it depends on what offense you run. Unfortunately, we don't run an offense where we can really slow it down. That's not what we try to do. Going into a game like this, I guess you're just trying to build a lead and try to get ahead. And help yourself out in those early quarters to kind of give your kids some confidence. That's one thing we saw last week when you don't go down and score and you give up a score, and now all of a sudden you're losing the game. That's when you start losing the kids. So the start of the game is super, super important in trying to build those kids' confidence.
Do you have a young man on your team right now is kind of inspirational guy on the team that says, "Hey guys, we can do this"?
We have a couple leaders. Aiden Anderson being our quarterback, Caleb Maxfield's a 3-year varsity starter. Those are two guys that we kind of lean on. I wish they were a little more vocal at times. That's super important in high school. Is kids really look up to other kids and their peers.
Right.
But yeah, those are two kids that we lean on in our program right now, being seniors for us.
How many seniors do you have on?
We've got 6 seniors. It was kind of a smaller group.
Oh wow!
So yeah, 6 guys.
Yeah, and they're all key guys.
Yeah, all of them play for us. Not all of them start for us, but yeah, all of them play. All of them get in the game, and they all contribute.
So how you got any JV guys up on varsity?
We have currently right now we've got a sophomore up and a freshman up full time, and then like I said, we fifth quarter a couple kids. We'll bring them up for the varsity game, and some of those guys do play when we fifth quarter them, just because we've got small numbers. If we have an injury or two, they got to go in the game.
So who's your freshman? What's his name?
Our freshman that starts on varsity is Willie Ray. He's a receiver and a defensive back.
Pretty good sized kid.
He's a little smaller, but he's got great speed to make up for it. He's definitely been a great weapon. A couple teams have, like we talked about, have lined up and tried to double him, just to keep the ball out of his hands. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Is he a farm boy or what?
No.
Street boy?
He's just got great speed. He's got great instinct, great ball skills, and great vision. So he's been a tremendous asset for our offense this year.
And then the other boy, the sophomore?
Cooper Higgins, he battled an injury earlier in the year. He's a receiver, tight end guy, and plays outside linebacker. He's been great for our offense. We love having him. He's definitely a key guy going forward. Being a sophomore, going to have 2 more years. The weight room's going to be critical for him, playing those positions, having to block and tackle on the other side. So.
What do you say to them boys when they get beat?
It's definitely tough after a game like Friday night, that being your homecoming game, and definitely a game that didn't go, how we thought it was going to. You try to give them some encouraging words, but you try to put that past you and move on to the next week. You can't. Obviously, we watched film on Monday of the past week for a little bit, but it gets to a point where you have to put that behind you, and you just got to look to the next week and try to rally the guys.
A lot of programs, when they get down, like say you're down a few years or whatever, they try to get a little weaker schedule. You guys have never fallen off that. You've gone on and battled the toughest of the toughest in your leagues, haven't you?
Yeah,
not afraid of it.
With our league play, we have 7 games. That leaves us 2 non-conference games, one at the beginning and one at the end of the year. We don't look to schedule, down teams. We played Beaverton this year, who, kind of school-wise has the same numbers that we do, so they battle some of the injury bug that we have, but a really, really physical team at the beginning of the year, and then at the end of the year we play Harrison. who runs the tee, similar to Matt, and they're super physical too. So, yeah, we don't look to schedule teams that aren't going to help us improve, I guess.
You coaching any other teams besides football, like baseball?
I've coached baseball for 5 years now. I'm a varsity assistant, and this year I'm going to help the varsity basketball team as well. So I'm going to be pretty busy.
Pretty good athletes though. Baseball, you guys are pretty good in baseball.
Yeah, we made a run last year to the regional final. Aiden Anderson, our quarterback, was our starting pitcher, and was outstanding last year. He'll be back again on the mound. In basketball too, we had a great season last year, winning 18 games. We lost a few seniors, but we're hoping to rebuild. We'll have a young team, but definitely a solid basketball team as well.
All right. Well, we'd love to talk. I'd like to interview you a little bit more. You have to come back on maybe in a couple of weeks.
I'll have to do that.
Happen. Yeah. You're very interesting. You're a very good guy to interview. I like that. Just wish the best of luck to you guys.
Thank you.
One more question, and we're going to talk to Mike Seltzer. How important is sports in Everett?
Oh, it's huge. With the run we've been on, like I said, the last few years, you can definitely see the crowds at the games kind of increasing every year. It's football is super important to the kids,
right.
But to us coaches, it's also important to the community. We love to look up in the stands and see packed stands on a homecoming game. There's a ton of people there. People park on the other side, getting there, I know, an hour before the game or an hour and a half before the game just to make sure they get a spot. It is super important. That's one of the downfalls, I guess, to having the season we've had is not only do you feel like, you feel bad for the kids, but you also feel bad for the community. You're not giving them the product that you kind of wish you could.
My son Matt and I, we race horses, and we've had a lot of luck in the last 40, 50 years. Not him, he's only 41, but a guy asked him the other day, he says, you've been racing horses this year, how you doing, Matt? Said, well, we've had a pretty bad year, but you know what? We still had a lot of fun. So that's what it's all about, too.
Sure.
It's really hard to stay up, but, I like that answer because we have had a lot of fun. You can't win all the time, but the one thing you can do in life is give it your all. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what Everett does, has a lot of pride. And that's why I always respected the Coyotes up there in Reed City, even on their down years. Those people like Everett come out and they know, you're not going to win them all, but you got to have a lot of pride and give it your all. So give it your all, Wildcats. Go.
That's right.
All
Thank
right,
you.
we're going to talk to Mike Seltzer. We're going to call him, and thanks a lot for coming in. Yeah. Oh, I thought she had him on the line.
I can't talk to him because I can't talk to
Mike
him
is.
if they're talking.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Pat.
Well, another week. We get older. I don't like that. But I tell you what I do like is your wins, man. You keep on winning.
Yeah, we played well Friday.
I hope it's not an omen that the Pioneer put in there that the Cardinals are looking for an undefeated season. Ooh, I saw that and I said, oh, don't say that.
Those are tough to come by.
Yeah, they are. So, we don't expect that by any means, but we do expect a good football game. And my Lord, you had another good last Friday night. You had another great one. So let's talk about that and what you got coming up this week. Mike Seltzer for the Cardinals.
Yeah, so we played Chip Hills last Friday, and, I thought that overall we executed pretty well. I think we were 7 for 7 in our first 7 possessions to score. And, that Chip Hills did some good things, but just we were able to capitalize with some big plays. We converted that 4th and 1 on our opening drive. We converted a 4th and it was like a 4th and 1.5, 4th and 2, and Danny Langell ended up bouncing it to the outside and scoring from a 42-yard run, and that kind of took the steam out because I'll give them credit. They put us into a couple of tough situations, but we were just fortunate enough to convert and execute, and that led us to a couple of big scores. I think our first 2 scores were from 42 yards out and 49 yards out.
Who had the key blocks on those?
On that, the first block, the first on Dan touchdown run from 42 out, Max Bowman kind of set the edge, and Bryce Seltzer and Jack Bowman kind of led him around the horn and picked up the safety that cracked down. And then Danny broke a couple tackles on his own, and good strong runner. And then Danny scored our second touchdown as well with a bubble screen to the left, and he took that in from 49 yards out, and it was Owen Craven and Kurt Wilbur on the left side had some key blocks that opened up the sideline for Danny to run down.
Wow. That's kind of a silent name, you might say, Langell. I know you're going to hear his brother's a real good ball player. He plays with Jack down there in the 6th, 7th grade, I think it is.
Yep.
And now they're just they're nice people too, aren't they? Young Danny there, he comes in the gas station now. You wouldn't even know that he had scored Friday night. He never brought it up or anything. He's just appreciative to be in the game. But so you utilized him a little bit more.
Yeah, he has been. If you listen to the radio, they'll call out what our version of the Wildcat, and Danny comes in at quarterback for that, and he has a set of plays designed for him to run out of the Wildcat because he's a big, strong kid. He's a hard-nosed runner, and it allows us to get some physical blockers in front of him. But he's also, he was moved up last year as a sophomore to play some safety for us. And this year he has really grown into that safety spot. He comes down and he lays some big hits on defenses, and he's got good range. He's one of those three-sport athletes. He plays football, he wrestles, and he plays baseball. So he's an all-around good athlete for us, and this year he's really come into his own and has been a big contributor on both sides of the ball.
Does his dad help you, Coach?
No, his dad coaches at the youth level.
Right.
But
yeah, I see him down
we
there.
had one of our coaches, Coach Maynard, became a grandfather last week, and so him and Diane were out in Washington seeing their first grandchild. So we had a couple of coaching rotations. So Danny Langell's dad actually was our end zone cameraman for us on Friday. So that was kind of nice of him to fill in for us.
Yeah, he's doing a good job down there. I go to the games that Jack plays my grandson, and his son's in there. And boy, I don't think that kid, the young Langell, ever touched the ball without getting a touchdown over at Chippewa Hills last week. Every time he touched it, he ran.
Too.
Very fast, very big, tough kid, just like his brother. So then, going on to the other scores, who scored third time then?
Third score would have been Cole passed it to Freddie Ortiz, and Freddie caught a ball, ran it in 10 yards for a touchdown. And Freddie's one of those, like Danny, he doesn't get a ton of touches and specializes more on the defense for us. And Freddie he plays outside linebacker for us, and he's kind of one of those guys that you don't hear his name a lot because he did his job right. His job is to turn plays inside, and if they do go outside, to stretch it out. And so if you watch some film on us, Freddie does a great job of being super disciplined, dropping into pass coverage when necessary, but also executing his role within the scheme, and that allows our linebackers, our middle linebackers, and our safeties to come down and make tackles. So Freddie's offensive production was good for a touchdown, and he also had quite a few tackles for us Friday night as well.
Do you have any? Well, I know you have an idea. Who was the key tackler that night? I know they were all playing good defense, but anybody out there just getting more than the rest? Anybody have a sack?
It's pretty well distributed. Austin Brandt had 7 tackles. Mason Boyd had 6 tackles. Bryce Selzer had 6 tackles. Johnny had 5, and Seth Perdue had another 5. So it was pretty well distributed. Yeah. The thing is we got up by, I think it was 49-0 at half. And so, a lot of our our key guys didn't get many touches or a lot of downs in that second half, which is, it's kind of a blessing and a curse in that your dudes get to rest and you don't risk injury with them, but they also, don't get as many touches or stats that they like to have. But the important thing is the team is 6-0 and they're all in for the team, and that's our motto this year.
Yeah. How about flaws? Did you have any Friday night that you kind of said, "Whoa, you shouldn't have done this"?
Yeah, we always have those. On the coaches on Saturdays and Sundays will break down the film, and then on Monday we'll meet with the players, and we always find things that we can improve on, and so we got to get better at maintaining our triple teams before we bounce up to linebackers. Some of those second guys, those guys that haven't been on the field a lot, they got coached up pretty hard this week because when they were on the field, they're not seeing it the same way as the quarterback when we're passing. So they ran, a lot of times they have choice routes to run and they chose the wrong route. So those are all things that we get to address in practice this week and, get those things taken care of for the next time they are on the field, or if there's an injury and they have to go in, that they're up to speed.
It's pretty obvious to adjust against a team like Cardinals, but did you see any change up in their thinking on their offense or defense? Did they change up on you guys at all the second half?
No, they didn't. Again, it was with the score being what it was. If we're in that situation, you focus on the next play and executing. So, I'll give the Chip Hills staff and their players a lot of credit. They battled every down, especially Hunter. I think it's McGuire, their quarterback. He did an outstanding job of running hard every down, and he throws a really nice ball. I think he completed 13 passes and hung in there when he could have easily just taken an easy way out a few times late in the game, and he's a competitor, so they have a bright future.
That's good to hear. We like that as long as it's not against us. But
right.
now, they're the same size as you, right?
They're a little bit smaller than we
Okay.
are. Right now, we are the biggest team in the conference,
Okay.
And that's a great thing about Big Rapids schools. We offer so many opportunities, not only athletically, but in the arts. Our band is outstanding. Our drama program, our art programs are outstanding. And so that's drawn a lot of students over the last few years to Big Rapids. So I think we're the only school that the last 4 years has consistently grown. So we are the bigger school in the conference.
In the past, I should say, a lot of guys would play hockey because we've always been very competitive in hockey since the initial first team, I think. We've always been right there, in the 90s. We had some really great years. So that entices young people to get into that program. If you look at the youth hockey, a lot of these parents are taking them to Rockford, Grand Rapids to further their ability of being better at it. In football and that, talking about football, you really don't see traveling teams. Obviously, there's a reason, and we know that reason, so we'll bypass that question. But do you think, being that you guys have come along a long ways in football, because just a few years ago it wasn't that great of an outcome like you guys are doing now, so I'll get to the point. Do you think it's enticed those kids to play football because of your success?
I think success breeds success, and it's having been a part of rebuilding programs. There's some tough years ahead, but I think the big thing is that the school itself offers so many opportunities, and being successful. Obviously, parents that are moving into the district or into our area, do their due diligence. They look at the schools, they look at the athletic program, and so having a winning program definitely helps that. But we're also a blue ribbon school, right? And so we have the best academics, we have the best curriculum opportunities for students in the area. So I think it's a combination of all of those things. I think as a parent myself, number one would be what gives your child the best opportunity to be successful in life. And if it's a college-bound kid, you're going to want to come here, right? With our connections at Ferris and Mid-Michigan Community College and Montcalm Community College, we offer so many college courses that many kids leave high school just a couple credits short of an associate's degree.
Yeah.
And then you combine that with our band and drama programs and our fine arts programs, and then on top of that, that icing on the cake is our athletics, and so I think that all ties in. It's definitely better when you're winning.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like we were just talking to the Everett coach there, and good young man there, and the pride that Everett has in their program, even though they're kind of down right now, there's a lot of pride up there. And that's I know I always allude to the fact that Coyotes, even on their down years, they have so much pride up there in football. I mean, it was just unbelievable. And I see that happening to Big Rapids right now. I mean, Big Rapids, these kids are playing 4 years of football, and now I see more and more are going to junior colleges playing football or Division III football. We got a few good little guys making big things happen for the smaller schools out there. That never used to happen so much. So my hat's off to you guys. And gosh, I look at your assistants there, and any one of them could be a head coach some other place, if they wanted. Like, say, for example, Dave McCall, what an inspiration to young people he is. I mean, he's just and he's a local boy, Chippewa Hills guy,
Yep.
And but what he's done for these kids, I don't think he understands how much of a big impact he does have on these young kids, and your other coaches too. I don't mean just to bring him up, but you guys and Mike, you just done a terrific job keeping morale up, and you don't see your kids getting in trouble. And I wanted to touch on that for a minute because, a lot of times it'll go to their head, and the next thing you know, this kid's so big, he thinks he's everything. I don't see that going around town at all, like the Lingel kid. I don't know his dad that well, but I will say that I got to congratulate him because he's got a young man there that's going to be a good American someday and a leader someplace. They're doing a good job. So these parents out there, we get called out sometimes, but your program's showing the best of the best is what I'm trying to say.
Well, I appreciate that, and I never take for granted my coaching staff and our community, because it does take a village to raise these guys. And, I'm a part of it, and I know my coaching staff, they do such an outstanding job. We spend a lot of time not only in the season but out of the season with our athletes. Some of us coach multiple sports. Some of us, we run the weight rooms and the speed programs in the morning, and we try to keep the kids together. And, we got a lot of hockey players, so, we spend time supporting those other programs, and it's outstanding that we have so many kids that are multi-sport athletes. And, I'm very fortunate to have the staff that I have that is committed to these guys. And, we got great community support. We got great parent support. And, that's the epitome of taking a village to raise a kid. And so we're fortunate to be here.
Playing Friday night. Where's that at and what time?
We play Friday night at Grant. It's at Grant, and kickoff will be 7 o'clock.
Last year they canceled, didn't they?
Last year they canceled during our homecoming. They had some eligibility issues, and they had some injury issues, so they weren't able to safely field a team last year.
Yeah, that's too bad. But this year that's not going to happen.
Yeah, they're coming off of a big win. They beat Newaygo last week in overtime. And so, we got our itinerary, and the game is planned for Friday. So we're excited to get out there Friday and play our best.
Just game plan against them, just the same normal game plan then?
Yeah, the big thing for our guys is that, we preach that the only team that can beat us is us. And so we have to go out and execute at a high level no matter who we play. because that's our expectation of ourselves, is to go out and do our best. And so, whether it's Reed City or it's Coopersville or it's Grant, we prepare pretty much the same way and have that same high level of execution.
Imagine, and of course you already know what I think of Ben Brandt's family. Those 4 boys are four of the best boys I've ever met, I think, besides myself and my brothers. But anyway, baby Brandt, you gave him some time Friday night.
Yeah, he got to he played 4 quarters in the JV game, so that only offered him 1 quarter on Friday. And so Cole kind of got us through that 3rd quarter, even though we were up 49 to nothing. Cole kind of distributed that ball quickly and got it out of his hands so he wouldn't take any hit. And then Baby came in and ran the 4th quarter possession for us and did a nice job, put a solid drive together with our 5th quarter kids and a few of those backup guys, and we were able to sustain a nice long drive and punch it in with, a little mix of run and pass. And Vash Schuberg got his first varsity catch Friday.
He's a sophomore or freshman?
Vash is a freshman, so he ended up getting we threw him a rocket screen, and he was close to scoring there. He brought it down inside the 10, so he caught a 17-yard pass, and so Baby led that drive. I'm going to see how long that drive took. It was about a 5-minute drive.
Wow, that's nice.
And so, we were able to put together a nice drive and execute a full offensive series with that group, which is, anytime they can get live game experience, that only helps in the future.
How many guys did you bring up for that game?
We have approximately 10 5th quarter kids.
Wow.
And so that there's about 10 of them, and some kids have more quarters than others. Like Austin Muscle, he sat half of the JV game, so we could get 3 quarters out of him.
Now, what grade's he in?
Austin is a 10th grader.
Yeah.
So he was able to get in the whole second half and play some outside backer and tight end for us.
Okay. Yeah. He's a good kid too, isn't he? He's like his brother. He's a big boy.
We got a lot of good kids. Yeah.
You do.
And Trent out there he creates a mismatch problem for a lot of teams.
Yeah. So who else did you bring up? Can you mention them or no? You don't have.
We had Coop Schuberg came up, and he got in the 4th quarter in at
What position does he play? Center?
Yeah, he plays center and defensive line. Peter Geib and
Peter.
Edinger, Mason Edinger, they came up, and they got a lot of reps on the offensive line and at backer and D end. I already talked about Vash. Jacob Schuberg, Badood, he got his varsity carries. He had, I think, 4 carries. No, he had 3 carries, and he was close on that 3rd down. He came up 1 yard short of punching it in.
Oh, Lord. His dad's upstairs looking down saying, just another yard, eh?
Yep. So Zeke Wells came up, and
Zeke Wells,
Peck,
okay.
Yep,
what grade
Peck had a couple of touches. Zeke played safety for us.
Wow, that's great. Yeah, he's a sophomore too.
Yep. Most of those guys. Vash is the only freshman, 5th quarter kid. The rest are all sophomores, and it's good. This is our first year since I've been here that we haven't had 2 or 3 sophomores brought up on varsity, because this class was, out of our 17 seniors, 6 of them were up as sophomores or freshmen. And so we have a pretty experienced senior class, and so we didn't have that need this year to bring up any sophomores. We have pretty good depth, but as the season goes on and one position or another takes a few dings, then somebody like Austin Muscle will come up and fill that role to give us a little more depth as the season goes on.
Yeah, he's got some nice parents. I tell you, I look and listen to you talk about these kids. I know their parents, and I remember when they played, not the Muscle actually, but because he's from down south. But a lot of these parents, I remember their dads playing there, just following suit. But that's pretty good. You know, you got 17 seniors, and I mean, these are great seniors. But man, you got like baby Brant, man. You got a quarterback there that probably could play anywhere in the state of Michigan at that position. And the only reason I say that is because the spectators that go that know football tell me this kid's pretty gifted, and I hope he's not listening because I don't want him to get a big head. But you got some good horses coming out of the stable next year, don't you? Even though you're going to lose 17 seniors.
Yeah, we're
not looking forward. I'm not trying to push you weeks ahead because that means I'm getting older. I want to live. I want to live today, but I love to see the future. That's a good future.
I am. I'm the same way. You know, you're always looking at. You're planning for now, but you're also looking at the future. And you know, we're going to graduate a big class of guys that have, you know, really helped establish our program and have taken us to, you know, that next level. You know, when I look back at where we were, and I've said it a lot of times, I contribute a lot of our success and the desire to win to Will Strickler, and he was our quarterback for 3 years, you know, around 2020 up through, and he was so competitive. It didn't matter if you were his best friend or his worst enemy. On the field, he treated you the same and had a high expectation, and it was great to have that player leadership. And this group of seniors saw that when they were freshmen, and, you know, they got to emulate that, and they have taken that on. And so they hold themselves and each other to a high standard. And this next crop that we have coming up, because, you know, we have some pretty good juniors with Dan Langell.
Yeah, you do.
Austin Brandt and Max Bowman and Bryce Selzer, and we have Zach Repke. We have a solid core of juniors, but it's just not our big class. So this year sophomores will come up, and they'll build around that. And so, you know, I think you hit it on the head. We have a good group coming up, and they'll fill in those roles nicely. So the future's still bright.
You know, I loved it when you said crop, because any sport, be it horse racing, any athletic competition, we call it a crop. I wonder who started saying crop, because we have 2-year-olds coming up to race next year. We always say, yeah, I got a nice crop of 2-year-olds coming up. Do you ever think where that came from? I guess it's come from the garden.
I had never thought that it was, all the different ways that it applies.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the garden. Boy, I got a good crop of corn coming this year. My beans are a great crop this year. I got a great group of 2-year-olds coming up next year. They should be a great crop of 3-year-olds. And then you said that. I thought, wow, I have to mention that. But anyway, you do have a great crop, and I'm so happy for you. You know, not a lot of us get to live in those glory years, and you definitely, I know you're appreciative of your crop that you have coming up every year now, because it's so much easier, isn't it? It's so hard to coach a team that you just can't get over that hump and win, and you come so close to winning and you lose. You're not having those kind of deals right now to deal with. But that being said, every week they're after you, aren't they?
Yeah, we're going to get everybody's best game, especially as the season goes on. And so that's one of the things that helps you stay hungry. And, having lived through lean times and coach some teams that, like you said, just difficult to get over that hump and find that success, you get so much more appreciative of what you have. And then you look to take the next step with it. And so, each week we're going to get every team's best game because, as returning league champs, you know that they're gunning for you. But you got to keep that predator mentality. You got to stay hungry and focus on those things that you can control. And, we're going to have all we want, in the next few weeks here, we got Coopersville on the docket for week 8, and they're a tough team. They're a big, physical, well-coached team. Ed Teeman does a great job down there, so his kids are always in position, and they're always ready to battle. So that'll be a real good game, and that'll be a good test for us to see where we're at, and hopefully get us ready for a playoff run.
Yeah. You're having fun, aren't you, Mike? It's a lot less stress. Your hair's not turning gray right now. Just think if you were going in here with a 1-9 or 2-8 or whatever, you'd be your wife would be saying, Mike, you're growing up, you're getting gray. But you're not getting gray.
She's been with me for 25 years, and all of it I've been coaching. And she coaches, so she knows what that lifestyle's like. And I think good years or bad years, if you're doing it for the kids, they're all good years because you build those relationships and you spend time and you get to watch the kids grow and mature. And that's the measure of success. Can we help young men develop into good men? And if we're able to do that, that's been a great season. The wins and losses are excellent, right? Everybody loves to win. But as long as we're representing our school and our community in a positive light, we're doing good.
Yeah. Well, I love it how you always say we and not I, and I did this, I did that. And I loved what you said about the stricter young man. He was just a great mentor to a lot of young kids, and I think LaJelle boy, young man, he's a big mentor. He gets right down there on Saturday mornings and helps his dad with those young kids, and that means a lot to these little guys. They look up to a guy like that and say, wow, he's a big football player at the high school level. To us it's nothing, but to these little kids it's a lot.
If you got a second, I can share a little story with you on Friday. So we get on our bus, and our bus driver has her grandnephew with him. His name's Oliver, I believe. And he rides the bus with us to the game. We play the game. We get on the bus. And she's super appreciative of the boys accepting, this. I'm guessing he's 9 or 10. And she says thank you to the guys because every boy that got on the bus gave them nuts. And she said thank you, and the boys said let's hear it for Oliver, 2 claps, and they gave Oliver 2 claps. So on Monday, I get an email from her about the positivity and what that meant to Oliver. And so we talk a lot about how we're always being viewed, we're always being watched, we're representing our school, we're representing our program. And, and I talked to the boys about how that didn't mean a whole lot to them. That was just part of their day. Right. But just that one positive interaction with a young kid made him a Cardinal fan for the rest of his life. And his great aunt said that he called his dad after the game and said, the Cardinals scored 56 points and Chip Hills got nothing but smoke.
Oh, and,
he was super happy that he felt to be a part of the program. So, it's great for our kids to talk with the young kids. You mentioned Danny being at the youth football. We have 5 or 6 of our guys who go every Saturday to the home games and help rep those games and have those interactions with the kids. And I think it's important for our guys to understand the impact that they have on young people.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's no other thing in life like it, is there? I don't want to get into
to be a part of the community is a great thing.
You think about it. I really feel bad for Game Boy and all these things on the phones that these kids play on. Sports has got to. It's a big thing right now.
Yeah, it teaches so many life lessons. Whether it's band, whether it's hockey, track, football, basketball, baseball, they all teach those life skills, and we can't miss those opportunities to help promote them and show kids that it's great to be a part of something bigger than yourself, and that's like our service members and our firefighters and our first responders. They do all of those things, and a lot of times it goes unnoticed, but when it's needed, it's appreciated.
Yeah. Well, talk about promoting. I better let you go and you get back to that school and coaching for this Friday night's game against Grant, you say. So good luck to you over there, and keep doing what you're doing, Mike. You're making a difference, a big
All right,
difference.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Yep, have a great day.
You too. God bless. All right. Well, that being said, Bob Aldridge is back in the studio with 103.9 WBZX. Not
And we
point.
still have John with us.
I know Jonathan Hart. He's been very patient, very patient. But you did tell him I like to talk. And
Yeah, you know.
But before we go, Bob, I'd like to say one thing.
Okay.
Good morning,
Good morning.
America. And you're
How
going
are
to play
ya?
God Bless America League Inwood when we're done. Big Rapids Tire right down the street here on North State Street, right next to a patch of grass on the north side and a patch of grass on the south side. But in between those patches, there's a rubber, and that's tires. So if you're in need of tires, Big Rapids Tire is a place to go. Andrew and company will do a great job for you. They're reasonably priced, but they have quality service and goods. Zot's Bar, right down the street, right across the street from the weed shop, or a rental house that Jana Grunts lives in. Great food, great service. Roxanne and Doug, they're community-minded. Whenever at the 4-H fair or what it is, giving to something, Zot's Bar, they are out there supporting the community. All we ask for you to do is support them. They're open Wednesday through Saturday, closed on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, unless it's a private party. Zot's Bar. Daggett Gilbert Funeral Home. Newest member, Alec Gray, is the newest member in the Big Rapids, already making a big impact helping families when they're in need. Alex is a very sincere person. He's a great athlete himself. In the day, he's a baseball coach at Big Rapids. So you know what? He's getting involved. He's not just coming here, working, and leaving at 5 o'clock. He's staying after, making that time for kids. Just like Mike Seltzer just talked about the last 35 minutes, the impact that we give these kids to make impact on other kids. Well, anyway, if you're in need of something like that, funeral home wise, Daggett Gilbert, that was a good ending.
Yeah.
Hurry up and die.
How do you tie it up? You know?
Yeah, Matt at M&M Lawn Care and Snow Plowing, he's one of our newer supporters here. They don't come any better than him. Matt Matheson, he great guy. M&M Snow Plowing and Lawn Care, just great people. I can't say enough nice things about them. Then we got M&M Collision Center right here, auto body repair, glass work and frame repair, car and truck accessories. That's right. If you need a box liner, M&M has it.
Nice.
Yep, and they got one of the best auto body guys. Started right in high school today, Justin Johnson, local guy. Knew his grandpa real well. They've committed to spending his whole life here. He's got 2 wonderful kids here in Big Rapids. So by supporting M&M, you're supporting the families of M&M, not just a corporation. These are private individuals. Matt and Devin own the place over there, but they have some great people working there, and they do some great collision work. So if you get a chance, you can go over and see Trish at the office.
Yep.
And get into M&M if you have any car damage or anything, a deer accident or whatever, M&M Collision. Then last but not least, Hooked at Curries. You know, my guys over there are doing a great job. I'm not there as much as I used to be. I think it's probably better that I'm not. But they have great sandwiches. I think they have a great hamburger. And
the caramelized onions.
Yeah, they have panini sandwiches over there. And, Yep. So that's it, Bob. For me, Jonathan Hart. I'm sorry I didn't give you more time to ask any questions to the great coach Mike Seltzer, but you know, he deserves it. Mike hasn't always had the great team that he has right now. He's worked for everything he's gotten. I love the guy. I think he does a great job sharing the success that he's had with the players and his assistant coaches. He's always raving about how good they are. But you know, it takes a guy at the top to make this all happen, and Mike's done that. And Big Rapids is very appreciative of what he's done for Big Rapids, because you can build the best stadium in the world, but if you don't have the people to manicure it, you're not going to win. So Mike does a great job there. And Scott up to Reed City, I want to thank him. He's a great guy too. You know, anybody that has horses is great people. Coyotes are my second favorite team. So, Jonathan, I'm going to let you finish the story, but I do want to say one thing. God bless America.
All righty.
See you next time.
John, thank you. And
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
WBZX Big Rapids at 4 minutes after 10. Come say cheers at Zott's Bar and Grill in Big Rapids. Great food, great prices, and great people, where everybody knows your name. Zott's, people's choice for best soup. You don't want to miss their award-winning burgers and chili as well. Originally opened in 1933 and serving it up ever since. Seasonal beers on tap. Located at 732 North State Street in Big Rapids. Roxanne and Doug at Zott's Bar and Grill are proud sponsors of the Signature Player of the Week for the Curries Hot Stove League every Wednesday morning at 9 a.m.
Hi, this is Pat Curry. We're right here with Brian Miller at 1039. We talk about what's happening with sports in Big Rapids. Well, we got a new sponsor. None other than the Great Body Shop right on Maple Street, east of the bridge in Big Rapids, Michigan. It's called M&M Collision Center. They're celebrating 30 years of trusted, top-quality auto body repair and remains the name you can trust. Whether you have a major collision repair or a minor fender bender, our award-winning team has you covered with free loaners and vehicle detailing with every repair. They work with all insurance companies and treat every vehicle like it's one of their own. From auto body repairs to supporting local community organizations, giving back to the community is part of who they are. Come and see Matt and Devin and Trish and Justin. Just a great group of people there. Come and see why Big Rapids trust M&M Collision Center of Big Rapids, where quality and community come together.
This is Alec Gary of Daggett Gilbert Funeral Homes in Big Rapids and Barrington. I believe what sets Daggett Gilbert Funeral Homes apart from everyone else is our commitment to service excellence. When a family calls, we are there before, during, and after the funeral experience. I want you to be able to trust calling us. You know, we're here to guidance and counsel each and every single family to each and every single need. And we just feel like the commitment to families, especially ones that put their care and trust in us, we are going to go above and beyond to do anything we can to help a family during their time of loss. This is Alec Gary, a legacy of service, a promise of care, with Daggett Gilbert Funeral Homes, located in Big Rapids and in Barrington.
When was the last time you checked your tires? At Big Rapids Tire, they know how important it is to keep your ride smooth, safe, and reliable. Whether you're cruising down the highway or navigating tough weather, a fresh set of tires ensures you're ready for anything. Their expert team will help you find the perfect tires for your car and get you back on the road with confidence. Brakes, alignments, struts, and shocks, they do those as well. Don't wait for a blowout, or worse, visit Big Rapids Tire for unbeatable prices, quality, and peace of mind. Big Rapids Tire, Northland Drive, just north of town.
M&M Lawn Care and Snow Plowing has been in business for over 30 years, gaining the trust of Big Rapids and the surrounding communities. M&M Lawn Care can handle all your lawn care needs, as well as tree jobs and including removal. Call for a free quote. 796-4956. They're fully insured. Call M&M Lawn Care and Snow Plowing, proud local sponsor of Curries Hot Stove League.
Hooked at Curries.
Pete, why do you come to Curry's?
I go in there for breakfast every single morning, Pack, except the week. Well, on Sunday. I usually go to church. But I love the scrambled eggs and bacon and toast. Homemade.
Wednesday morning sun is rising, and grind talking strong. High school tales and sports they bring life's a story.